Now, can drones help Africa overcome infrastructure and development problems? In some places in Africa, you need only look up to the sky to see how they're beginning to show their promise. Africa 54's Heidi Adams-Fitzpatrick has more.
You'd be forgiven for thinking this sounds like a swarm of bees coming your way. But in rural Malawi, this is the sound of a drone delivering your medicine. Here, screening of HIV in babies requires special lab tests. Poor infrastructure and high travel costs mean it can take up to 2 months to get samples from rural health facilities to equipped labs. That delay often prevents people from accessing vital antiretroviral treatment. However, drone technology is helping to deliver urgent medical care while saving time, money, and in many cases, lives.
There are many delays in the continuum of getting HIV-positive children on treatment. They need to come in early for testing, ideally before 2 months, between 6 and 8 weeks. Their tests, the dried blood spots, need to get from the health facilities to one of the 8 laboratories nationwide.
In Cameroon, entrepreneur Mathieu Ongen saw an opportunity in the tourism market. He's now using drones to offer visitors to his country something new.
My use of drones is mainly to take images of different parts of the city. Of course, we also use it to highlight some of the best tourist sites, because seen from above, some of these sites have even a bigger impact on people.
This Kenyan university student built his own drone. He couldn't use it in his home country because Kenya's government restricts drone use. So Arnold Bett looked to neighboring Tanzania, where he was able to use his drone, called the Octocopter, for agricultural research. The Octocopter could identify 14 different varieties of sweet potatoes in the fields below through drone-based remote sensing. Bett says drone technology doesn't come cheap.
Buying a ready commercial drone is very expensive, and that will mostly range between $5,000 to $6,000. And for us, building one, the most probably it will cost us is about $1,000, but on average $500 to $1,000.
Loaded into the plane's passed pre-flight checks.
Rwanda's poor infrastructure and mountainous landscape make it difficult to service rural health centers. So the government and US startup Zipline looked to the sky for a solution. They launched a delivery service that drops blood bags to 20 remote hospitals. The drones can make a round trip of 93 miles.
Blood is incredibly urgently needed, and this is a way of getting it to them 10 times faster than we've been able to get it to hospitals in the past.
As Africa gradually embraces drones, questions remain about whether the continent is ready for them, how much they will cost, and how they'll be regulated, even as many African countries are only just beginning to develop their drone policy. Heidi Adams-Fitzpatrick, VOA News, Washington.
Now to Zambia, where armyworms are threatening the country's staple crop, maize. The pests, which feast on young plants, are capable of wiping out entire fields. Military and government agencies are working to contain the spread. Here's our report.
With an estimated population of 15.2 million people, Zambia relies heavily on maize for both human consumption and for industrial use. A threat to the country's staple crop becomes a national issue. The strong odor of pesticide hangs in the air as a team of men comprising soldiers clad in a blue work suit and respirators spray a field of maize in this rural corner of Zambia, the front line in a battle against an invasion of ravenous armyworms.
I thank the government for sending the ZNS into a rage to come and spray, because I really lost hope. At first I tried to spray cypermethrin, nothing happened. So I really have hope now that the armyworms are gone.
According to the country's disaster management unit, 124,000 hectares have been invaded by the moths, and the government has so far managed to spray 86,000 hectares. Zambia's National Farmers Union says most of the maize was attacked when it was knee-high, and there are high chances of it recovering after spraying it with pesticides.
We might lose a crop up to 20% of the planted area, but because we have known the problem and we have reported to the relevant authority, necessary chemicals have come in the district. Almost 100% of the chemicals have come now, so we expect that we should be able to reduce that 20% loss to less than 10% and be able to have a good crop for Chiwambo district.
Zambia's maize production rose to 2.87 million tons in the 2015-2016 crop season from 2.60 million tons the previous season due to better rainfall and early delivery of fertilizer and seed to farmers. Efforts continue to battle the invasion in the southern African nation to ensure food security.
You're watching Africa 54. I'm Vincent McCory. A popular physician known as Dr. C dispenses health advice on the internet from Germany. Our healthcare tips reach a large number of people in need in Cameroon and West Africa. Here's VOA's Lenore Mudu.
Today we want to talk about stroke.
Dr. Susan Njema Awehis, a native of Cameroon, is widely known as Dr. C. She practices in Germany and specializes in internal medicine and cardiology. Dr. Awehis uses short videos to offer information to her fellow Cameroonians on disease prevention, management and care and posts them on YouTube. She says a colleague encouraged her with the idea to disseminate her knowledge on the internet.
When he approached me, I was like, brilliant idea. I already have lectures in hypertension, lectures in diabetes and pidgin. We could just start. Why don't we start?
The topics covered are mostly done in Pidgin English, which is widely spoken in parts of West Africa.
My favorite video is that on antibiotic resistance. Why? It's because antibiotic resistance is something that many people don't know about. It's something that is a silent killer that keeps rising, and none of us know about it.
Dr. C uses the web platform as a way to counter infrastructure bottlenecks in the country where access to doctors and services remains a challenge. According to some statistics, there are fewer than 2 doctors for every 10,000 people. At the Baptist Hospital in Kumba, Dr. Tata Divine says doctors in the country are generally overwhelmed and that he even sees 60 patients a day sometimes. However, he is skeptical about online healthcare.
You really need a medical personnel, a trained doctor to clerk you, examine, and then maybe do some tests to be able to say, okay, this person is having a kind of chronic typhoid which has perforated his intestines, and that can be an emergency. It's an emergency because it can easily lead to septicemia and many other things setting. And then, so talking about going online to seek for medical attention, it's quote-unquote good, but it can be very harmful too.
Dr. C says there are some hurdles to overcome.
The challenges come as poverty, lack of information, lack of infrastructure, because even if someone in a village is informed about what is going on in their body, they know what they should do, what they shouldn't do. If they need professional care, they will have to leave from that village sometimes to go somewhere else because the infrastructure is not there. And even when that health care is in the neighboring urban setting, they might not even have the road.
Dr. C has a web page where she posts health articles. She says her work targets not only people in her native Cameroon, but throughout the region.
It's time now for a short break. Before we go, a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for all the latest information around the clock. You can also find us on youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come, his days in office are gradually coming to an end, and US President Barack Obama has given his farewell speech. We'll tell you all about it right after the short break.